Hey Jeepers, this is a quick review of my flat fenders from cjponyparts.com. So I've had a lot of interest in the fenders when I'm at Jeep meets, off-road parks, what have you. A lot of people ask what these are and where I got them. So I'm going to be pointing those people in the direction of this video. So these are just a basic plastic fender from 15-20 feet away. A lot of people think they're steel with a textured paint or something on them, but they're just ABS type plastic, just like the stock fenders are. You do have to remove your inner fender liners to put this kit in, which is a little bit of a hassle. I ended up not putting the rear one back in. I did cut the front one and stick it back up with zip ties, but it's not a clean look if that's what you're going for. But these fenders are currently for sale for $220 for all four. That's right, 4 fenders for $200, and you can't really go wrong. Install was maybe 3 hours for all 4 of them, taking my time. Some of the clips didn't really line up. I had to custom drill out spots for the clips on the plastic. I didn't do anything with the Jeep body, but the plastic of the fender itself had to get a little bit of cutting. But besides that, they look really nice. I've had a little bit of issue with the front one that wanted to start pulling off a little bit, but again, for the price, I can't really complain. They're not $600 bushwhackers. When I rub them on tree limbs and stuff like that, I don't have to get upset. A lot of guys will say that, you know, these are junk, you gotta go steel, but I disagree with that. If I rip a plastic fender off, it's not gonna take my body off with it, and it's just going to break, and I can get a whole nother set for $220. So as far as that goes, you can't really beat it. It looks really nice. Nobody expects it to be pretty much the cheapest around. It's not a product that's marketed. Nobody's pushing it, so the marketing hype's not there for them to get the big numbers. So the website I got this off, which is the only place I could find it, is cjponyparts.com, and they just call them their flat fender style set Jeep JK. And yes, it does come with all of them. It even comes with the LED light in front. I'll post a couple pictures while I'm going over this with my Jeep, with the maybe a couple with the lights on, a few of the fenders close up, a couple far away. You can get a good feel for how they look. They're on sale right now, regularly $250. They're up for $217. I'll put the link to their website in my description. I don't get anything for it if you go through the link. This is not a sponsored video at all. I just think they're great fenders for the price, and they look awesome. They do what I want them to do. I'll get a couple pictures up of it kind of from the front so you can get an idea of how wide they are. These tires don't stick out tremendously, but it's definitely a good look. So I like the plastic fenders because if we do get one of them up against a tree or something and we happen to rip one off, it's a plastic fender. It's going to leave the body there. It's going to tear off the little metal brackets that are underneath here, and it's going to say sayonara, or it's going to hang on. It's not going to ruin my Jeep. And then I can get a new set for $200. And hopefully, if at that point I only ripped one off, I have 3 spares for the rest of the Jeep. But you never know. Maybe I'll rip the whole side of both fenders off. You never know. But if I do, $220. That's half the price of one steel fender from a big old name brand that would match my front bumper, which will not be named. But for the value, for the looks, for getting those ugly, stained looking, sun bleached plastic fenders off your Jeep and not spending a fortune, if you got a friend that's a little mechanically inclined, if you're a little inclined, you can handle this. You can put these on. They're great fenders. Now, one thing with these fenders I would not recommend is stock bumpers. If you have a stock rear bumper or you have a stock front bumper, these things come into a little bit of a point at the front and the back, a little round in. They're going to look horrendous with big old stock bumpers hanging off front and back. So style-wise, I would recommend you go with body width or a little bit wider than body width in the rear, and try to go with a stubby in the front, just to make these look as aggressive as they can look. You don't want the bumpers sticking out past the front of the Jeep like a handlebar mustache sticking off the front there. Nobody likes that look, unless you like light bars. You might you might like that look. So that's up to you. You do you. So as you can see, they really have a nice shape to them from the front. I think the contour is really, really fantastic with it, especially with the bumper setup that I have. And then from the back, they look nice and thin. Definitely have the same shape as what you would find in a steel, you know, tube flat fender where you got the tube and the metal welded on top and the whole 9 yards. It really gives that look from 15, 20 feet away. Most people think that these are a painted steel fender, and most are shocked to find this is how they, this is what they actually are. So, as their website says here, ABS plastic construction, 100% UV resistant. It says set of 4, and they come with the integrated amber LED lights in the corners. Now they come detached from it, and you got to send the little tiny screws through and make sure you can center and everything else, but they're in the box, which is really nice. I also use a product on them every once in a while. I'm actually going to go grab. Alright, Jeepers, so back to Black Restore. Works really well. I put a whole bunch of it on a microfiber cloth and go little sections at a time. Right at the first 10 seconds, it looks like you've almost put like cooking spray on there, and it's a little too slimy looking, but once it dries nice and evenly. If there's a spot you missed, you can hit it and it'll blend right in. It won't leave you with patches and stuff like that. And this is also good for the stock Jeep fenders. I have not used it on the stock Jeep fenders, but this is also ABS plastic, and it works really well. And I don't do this because it's a mall crawler and I want it to be shiny and look like I'm going to the local car show with it. I use it to protect it because I'm really not a fan of the bleached out plastic Jeeps. This Jeep looks like a 2018 from 10 feet away. It's a 2012. When you got bleached fenders, you can tell that the Jeep's got its miles on it, and I definitely have more pride in it. So, even though it's an off-road Jeep and I don't particularly care about how clean it is, I still use the Back to Black Trim Restore. So, this is what I use to keep my plastic fenders looking black and shiny and beautiful all the time, and not faded and chalky and gross looking. So, that's kind of my quick review on these CJ Pony Part fenders. So to the people that are looking to get a better look on their Jeep without spending the $2,000 or $3,000 for Poison Spider or Metal Cloak or XYZ or whatever other custom brand you want to have a sticker for, these didn't come with a sticker that say anything, and the box didn't say anything either, and you can't hashtag them, which is a shame, right? But $220, you cannot go wrong. Even if these are just to get you through couple months or a few years of your build, and you put some bigger tires on and you got that front bumper you've always wanted, you got that rear bumper, and you've got those ugly plastic things stuck to the side of your Jeep, you can convince your loved ones that $200 is something that you can spend on your baby. Thanks for watching.